At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 2 in this best of 3. In the bottom right side of Lilac Crest, we have the the blue Zerg player, HyuN.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, we have the green player, MajOr.
So some people were asking about my comment regarding banelings in the last series. So to explain this a little bit further, it's funny because the dynamic was in HOTS, you would see players go hundreds of banelings and it would look like nothing at all. It's not so much that Zerg were crippled, but more so Terran were subtly buffed in this regard due to the faster economy, the faster expansions, and the more money you're going to have. In the past, where you would have only had 50 Marines versus, say, 50 Banelings, now in Legacy of the Void, you'll have like 112 Marines versus 50 Banelings, just due to the rate in which you get your income versus they get their gas. Because while the mineral income was boosted greatly in Legacy due to the new mining system, and of course the higher worker lead, the gas count wasn't changed at all. So you still get the same amount of Banelings at the same rate. The Terran player just has way more Marines and way more things to fight with.
Yeah, just speaking a bit about the compositions that we had in the last game, one thing that we talked a lot about was the low Ravager count. And I'm wondering if the thing that HyuN was trying to go for is he thinks, like, I don't have to invest into as many Ravagers. If I get fungal growths off on my opponent's army, then I don't need to throw down 6, 7 different Ravager shots, because you throw down a lot of Ravager shots against a Terran army because you say, I know that all of these aren't going to hit, but at least 1 or 2 of them may end up hitting because I have enough of them. But if you have the fungal growths down, you can lock down the army and you don't need to rely on that. I'm wondering if that's his thought process or if he really just wasn't anticipating the attack coming that fast.
Yeah, I mean, I really love the fungal growth corrosive bile combo. Nurture made this really popular when he was one of the first people of all. Like, it wasn't a Korean that finally ended Beyond's win streak. It was a foreigner, right? And that strategy got a lot of traction because of it. And the other part of it too is a corrosive bile, while not nearly as explosive as a baneling, still is about the same damage when it comes to effectiveness. So again, it's weird to see no banelings and no corrosive bile. Usually at least one or the other. But I don't know. HyuN, there's a lot of things with HyuN that we could criticize today, and maybe it's just an off day for him because it's not going so hot. People ask if we're doing the Corsair Cup later today. Absolutely we are. It's gonna be the first North American Corsair Cup of the month. Zombie will be back for that one. And of course, for those who keep asking consistently, I am Rifkin, joined by Fear Dragon here today, filling in for Zombie. Thank you very much for joining me on the cast, man.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. But speaking about what HyuN's doing right now, I like the fact that he sent these Zerglings out. A bit unfortunate, I think, with the spawn positions, because if they had spawned a little bit closer to each other, I think these Zerglings may have gotten here in time to kill off the SCV building that low ground command center. But not going to quite be able to do it. Reaper is still alive.
Just
moving around and moving all the way back home.
Domination's spamming us. Get ready for it. Brace yourselves.
A skate, 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 a skate. A skate, 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 a skate. A skate, a
God damn it! This is the worst $10 ever. This is better than Mr. Boris Macro's filming butts. Thank you, Dominique, for the $10 donation. Secret donation link, anti-hype. Roach Warren, though, is coming up, so we might get to see the Ravagers, we might not. It's so hard to call with HyuN.
Oh, but we got Hellions coming out right now. This is a bit different.
This is actually really funny.
I know you have some thoughts on this.
Right, I think Hellions are actually terrible in Legacy of the Void for a lot of different reasons, but with the way HyuN's been playing, they're actually going to be really great, I feel. It would have been even better to see a Cloaked Banshee just go old school strategies with this, but for MajOr's sake, with a Liberator to follow this up, there's a medevac that's going to be a sort of just that elevator, the elevator, if you will, to get to the high ground and circumvent all these queens on that ramp. I mean, this is, HyuN's got to be careful about this. This could do a lot of damage. But he reacts to it very quickly, so nicely done.
Got that Overlord and, of course, the hatchery there to spot out this drop and make sure that he knows exactly where to position his units in time. And even the Roaches are going to make it a bit difficult for the Hellions to do a whole lot. That's one of the big differences also in Legacy of the Void. So many more Zerg players are going for the Roaches. We usually be like a big safety thing. Oh, might end up losing that meta. Oh, God.
That ends up being a very terrible attack for MajOr. One of the big things about that was if he had done any amount of damage, hell, even if he did no damage, the distraction may have been worth it if he kept the medevac alive. Right now on the other side, though, we got a Liberator coming in for round 2. Queens are a little bit out of position, but this shouldn't be for too long. And this map does not have the air distance to abuse Liberators on either, so you're going to be somewhat limited in what you can do anyways as Major. John Cena once again. This time is Panic Switch. God damn it! He's oh, it sounds like it's saying Acida? Oh, god damn it. It's going fast. What's happening? Okay. Nope. God damn it. Okay, we're good. Oh, we lived through it. All right. Liberator number 2 coming out. Not really getting anything done with it. Like, Major is just throwing things away at this point. I say just keep everything at home and bulk it up because it's just not getting the damage done that he wants. Units killed so far is just yeah, 4 drones, 4 lings. Hype.
Yeah, and behind this, he's trying to take this fast 3rd expansion and just saying, well, if I just keep throwing units to your side of the map, then you're gonna have to defend them. But I'm really afraid that HyuN is gonna he's getting up the Ravager count that he didn't really have an opportunity to get up last game. And as soon as he's able to clean up this other Liberator, I feel like he's just gonna go for a big counterattack.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, this one's getting muted because this one's actually kind of racist, and that's not funny. Sorry. Alright, so the Ravager count is... I like it because it's existing, first off. You're going to need 3 at a time to deal with the Liberators, and I do believe the only reason he invested into this because he thought a lot more Liberators were coming. But as we can see, that's not actually the case for Major. Gearing up for that bio push to follow it up. Combat Shields is actually not done, but Stim is for the push, so he might be able to get something done with 2 drops.
This Liberator doing a pretty good job. Up to 5 worker kills so far, and even going to be able to make it out of here alive. HyuN still sitting back at home with these Zerglings and Roaches, and I know he doesn't really have the vision that we have. He doesn't know how vulnerable or how few units Major actually had, but I really feel like he could have done something with all these Roaches and Ravagers that he's been making if he had even just pushed across the map.
So that's where I might disagree with you. It's not a bad idea because, again, setting passive, not always the best choice, but because he hasn't dedicated enough, anything he sends will get caught off of creep, stemmed down, and killed. I mean,
That's
Ravagers
true.
with only 120 health, they go down pretty quickly to even Marines. We saw that a pretty good example last game. But Liberator's been driven off thanks to the support crawlers, nicely positioned. Again, the map has almost no airspace to take advantage of around the bases. Major, though, again, decent tank count, nice Marines. However, he has also been playing surprisingly passive. Not really getting actual drops in and not doing much damage with the Liberators he's sent across the map. And the danger lies, you don't want to let a Zerg player play passive. They'll get a lot of Infestors out, they'll get Ultralisk out, they'll have a good damn time. But keep in mind, HyuN's not looking for Hive Tech right now. He is sticking on Infestor and Ravager. Very dangerous composition.
Yeah, Liberator on the bottom side did get taken out to the Spore Crawler, overcommitting just a little bit over there, but Major is starting to get up that big siege tank count, and he's starting to get up enough units that he can really start to defend himself appropriately against whatever HyuN decides to throw out without having to have some sort of counter aggression. But here we go. Hive coming up on the way for HyuN. This is where the timer starts getting set, and oh, great catch on that medevac.
Coastal Bombs are fantastic. Good example of why these combo well with each other. People asking us to turn off the donation sounds. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen until we start making more than $12 a cast through ad revenue. Ad block rates are sky high, and if it's only about $10 or so, sadly ends up being worth it at the end of the day. Plus, I think it's fun, and fuck you, it's my channel. There you go. End of this story. End of discussion. Medevac heading towards the southern part of the map. This actually is going to have a hard time getting in due to the Spore Crawlers built for the Liberators, really, so that's kind of funny to see. Hive Tech, more Ravagers. This is a HyuN that I wanted to see, Fear Dragon. This is the type of play I wanted to see out of a Zerg player.
Yeah, we got a lot more Ravagers finishing up over here, and here we go. A lot of Corrosive Bile is going to be thrown down. Fungal Growth's going down on top of this army. It's going to get decimated. Not a chance.
Yeah, that was a very disgusting fight, but a big part of this is those Corrosive Biles, these Ravagers that have been missing from HyuN in every series today. Small attempt at a run by, but that's not going to get much done.
Yeah, Drop makes his way into the main base over here. Major trying to put some pressure on. The medevac is going to get focus fire down by a queen. Oh, it gets one hit away from getting killed. There it goes. And MajOr's attempt at trying to keep HyuN at home for a little bit longer doesn't really work out. A lot. Oh no, all these Marines going so far off. They get fungal growth down, they get murdered. And the medevacs are so far behind, they couldn't really heal them up in time to even survive a second fungal growth. But MajOr, he was already sitting in a very scary position with losing so much of his army, and he loses even more of it. Alright, well, Rocks being knocked down, HyuN positioning himself in a place to try and put the pressure on MajOr. Now, MajOr still has a decent siege tank count, so he should be able to push back HyuN for a little bit, but here we go. Ultralisk Cavern finishing up.
Yeah, so
this is the timer we were talking about.
Well, the melee weapon upgrades have been behind. That's not really important. The Ultras have a lot of base damage on those Kaiser plates. However, with chitinous plating, they can still take a lot of damage, and that's kind of the intention here. Have those on the front lines tanking instead of roaches. And Ultralisk Ravager Infestor is a just disgustingly good composition. But as we see, one of the problems here is that you can't really rely on Corsair Bios to hit Stim Bio. They're too fast, they're too wily, so he's going to go for the big concave, try to push in. Fungal growth do hit some of that bio on the front line. It's not a lot, but it's going to be enough as HyuN does decide to bully his way through this. Not shooting the tanks, though, with those Corsair Bios might have been his biggest problem in this fight, but he still just has so many units left over. Maybe he pushes through to win, maybe he doesn't, but the big thing was, by attacking like this, he keeps MajOr from going across the map and catching him at that really awkward ultra timing.
Yeah, he does a surprisingly okay job at cleaning up a lot of that army for HyuN. I mean, he did end up losing all of his army, but he traded out better than I thought he would. With 9 Ultras coming out, here's the thing that I'm thinking about, though. MajOr taking this 4th expansion, the 4th expansion is going to be nigh impossible to defend against that many Ultralists with how little an army he has. But if he hauls himself back up in his natural expansion, his 3rd base for a little bit for this attack, I could very well see just the buildings screwing with the Ultralists. The Ultralists don't have amazing upgrades, as you said. Like, they're going to have chitinous plating, but they aren't going to have the most amazing upgrades. I could see MajOr maybe making it work.
I don't know, man. Chitinous plating is kind of the only thing you need for an Ultralisk. The melee upgrades are more for the Lings than anything else. So, like, one Ultra is still going to tear through a lot. I guess the main difference is without that +3 Carapace, the Marines will still deal a little bit of damage to the Ultras. They don't really cease doing damage until you're on +3 yourself. But the Terrasks, the Ultralisks, they are actually out now and looking to get on those front lines. Ling's looking to hold that army in place or at least force a pickup. No more fungal growths, and we do have another attack into the 3rd base while this goes on. Oh, that's a lot of Lings.
Yeah, I don't think he was even going to be worried about the fact that he doesn't have these Zerlings for the fight, because MajOr has nothing.
Friggin' GG. That's how powerful Ultras can be. Shout out to Poetry